I had just failed. I'd struck out yet again with this TV show that I was trying to make, and I was just really, it was 2020. Nobody had a good 2020. If you had a good 2020, get out of here. We all had a terrible 2020, and on top of the global pandemic, I was working on this show that I thought was going to be made, and then they killed it at the last minute. So I was really down in the dumps. It was like October, and I really thought, as I said, like, it's not going to happen for me. I just need to figure out what else to do. And so over Christmas break, I was just looking for a new book to read. And I was like, well, I've got some time. Or I was going to a cabin with some friends, and I was just going to like spend a week there reading. And so I was looking for a new book, and I was reading this book review for this other book called Interior Chinatown. And in the review for that book, it said that there is a satire reminiscent of Percival Everett's Erasure. And I'd never heard of Erasure, and so I went and read a synopsis, and it sounded interesting. And so I went and bought that book, and I just kind of, the more that I read it, the more it felt like the Venn diagram between my life and the protagonist's life was basically like a circle the more that I read it. It was just like, wait a minute, I've got two siblings. This is how my father is. Like, my mother didn't die of Alzheimer's, but my mother died of cancer, and I lived home toward the end of her life to help take care of her. Like, the character in the book, it was just, there's even a crazy reference. I was telling some film students today, there's like even this crazy, and it's, especially if you went to William and Mary, you know how weird this is? There's like a scene where one of the characters talks about how he went to William and Mary. And I was like, nobody ever says that. Nobody in anything ever says I went to William and Mary. Ever. It's crazy. And so it just felt like there's so much in this that is just speaking specifically to me in my life. And so I think in about 50 pages, I started thinking that I might want to adapt the script. Within like 150 pages, I started reading the character of Monk in Jeffrey Wright's voice. I just started picturing Jeffrey Wright in all the scenes. And then by the time that, I called my manager and I was just like, I think I found the first movie that I want to direct. Because I knew that any script that I would write would feel so deeply personal to me that it would feel like giving away a child or something if I were to give the script to somebody else.